This whole self-improvement thing, it's really fucking stupid, bro. This whole, I've decided to start self-improvement. I say that because I've seen these videos on YouTube circulate quite a bit with these content creators that are like, I've decided to switch my life onto self-improvement. Why I've decided to make a change. Because, it's the winter arc. And it's like, anything that's gonna get you to actually fucking do shit in your life and actually start to take things seriously, I'm all for. But it's just, every time I see it, it's just funny to me because, like, what used to be the norm has now become a trend. Self-improvement. Winter arc. What used to be the norm has now become a trend. Think about that. Now, for those of you who have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, let me put this into perspective for you. And just for context, I'm in the gym parking lot right now. We just hit a wild chest and biceps day. For those of you guys who want to see clips, all the gym clips that I post, all the morning routine push-ups that I post at 4:30 a.m. every single day, my Instagram's in the description. Go follow so you can see those stories to hold yourself accountable every morning and just to get free motivation, because I post that shit every day. And I've only been going to the gym consistently for like 2 months. I would go off and on my whole life. I just turned 19 and I never realized till this year, it's like, what am I doing? Off topic. But anyway, I've seen comments of people going, why are you saying this shit? You're not even big. And it's like, dude, I'm not giving you guys gym tips, okay? I'm not going to speak on something that I haven't mastered, okay? This is why I'm not telling you guys what form to do in the gym, what hypertrophy. Like, I'm not telling you guys any of that shit because I haven't mastered that shit, okay? I'm not going to tell you guys something that I haven't mastered. So, yeah, while I'm not huge, you have to keep in mind, I've only been doing this shit for a few months. Some of you guys watching this, obviously some of you guys are probably way farther along than me, but some of you guys watching this can't even fucking get yourself out of the bed in the morning. So you need to hear this, okay? Like, I'm speaking to you guys specifically about how the mindset works, because that is what I've truly shifted since January of this year, when I decided that I needed to make myself uncomfortable because I was too comfortable. That's when I started waking up. I started at 5 a.m. back in January. A few months ago, I switched it to 4:30 a.m. But I just realized the importance of daily habits, and that each day you're not trying to see how little you can get away with and still make progress. You're trying to see how much you can genuinely do in 24 hours. That's the whole point. But anyways, back to what I was saying. What used to be the norm has now become a trend. Self-improvement. And the thing is, this isn't some kind of limited time lifestyle trick, some trend for social media. This is just needs to be the default, bro. Self-improvement, think about that. Self-improvement, improving yourself. Why is that not the default for you every single day? Why? Like, it genuinely just blows my mind. And when I say it used to be the norm, I want you guys to realize, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, back in the, you could even go back to the primal days of humans. Let's put it that way. If you weren't disciplined, if you weren't strong, you would die. Okay? if you didn't have a disciplined mindset, if you weren't able to be strong physically and mentally, you wouldn't be able to build civilizations, build shelter, protect the women and children of a civilization. You wouldn't have been able to stock up on all the food that you needed during the summer so that you wouldn't die in the cold winter months. Back then, it was life or death. But now we're all coddled with this modernized, industrialized age with comfort. You have fast food. You have food delivery. It can just be, you don't have to go out and hunt for your food anymore. It's just brought to your door. You don't really have to get out of bed. You'll still live. You have AC, heat. Your houses are built for you. You don't have to do any of that labor. You don't have to grow your own crops because we have people that do that for you. You have sexual stimuli on the internet for free. So there's no incentive for young men today to go out and actually talk to real women. Like, there's just so many things I could probably think about more. But I don't think you guys realize how bad it's really gotten. And something else too. A man with a muscular physique. That used to be normal. There was no obese people back then. There was no 600-pound fat asses back then. A muscular physique used to be the norm back then because it would have been developed naturally by all the labor you would have had to do. Again, the farming, growing your food, the labor involved in that you would have had to do, building the shelters for your family, for civilization, building the walls around your empire to prevent the enemies from coming in that would just take over civilizations and kill all the men and take everything valuable in the civilization, take all the women, all of the nomads that would do that shit. And it's like, all of the raids, it's like, dude, we live in a completely different age. So comfort and the need to do these things, the need to just the struggle that you would experience on a day-to-day basis, the physical struggle, it doesn't really exist now because you don't need it. You don't need to do those things anymore because society has shifted. It's changed. It's evolved. We live in a different era. So my point is, brother, you need to seek struggle. You need to seek it in your day-to-day life. Realize something. The gym is a simulation in a cubed room. What you do in the gym is a simulation of the work and the labor you would have done thousands of years ago. That's what the weights are. The treadmill, right? When I go do my cardio at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. on my active recovery days on Wednesday and Saturday, what I'm doing is I'm keeping myself healthy, but I'm going to the gym to do that. I either go to the gym to do cardio, or I'll just, I'll go run outside. Some days I'll just do that instead, get some less oxygen. But it's funny, back in the medieval age, the primal ages, would you really go to a gym and run on a treadmill? No, it didn't fucking exist. Because guess where you got your cardio? You got your cardio from the running and the walking miles and miles a day that you would have to do to get food, to hunt, to do all that shit. Nowadays, you can just take your car. I know there were horses back then, but you didn't take a horse everywhere. Nowadays, you don't have to walk anywhere if you don't want to. Gotta go to the grocery store? We don't run or walk to the grocery store. Everyone just takes their car. And it's like, dude, there's so many things that, think about what you would have been doing, what the human body did back then, and think about how it's changed now, and realize that you need to adapt to the modern age and try to take as many things that you would do back then and apply it in this modern scenario. This is why we have so many weak men nowadays. Because you don't really need to seek struggle like that anymore. You could go work a 9 to 5 every single day. Just live a simple life. Lay on easy mode. Plug into the matrix. Go to your 9 to 5. Come home at the end of the long day, the long shift, and then just plug back into the matrix. Watch Netflix. Play some video games. Go to bed in the house that's been built for you. And just do that on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And you'll live an easy, comfortable, complacent life. You don't need to deal with whether or not you're going to get your next meal. You know? And so, brother, this is why I say you need to seek struggle. You need to seek it. Every single day, I ask myself, what am I doing to push myself? I don't get caught anymore in the cycle of complacency like I used to before January of 2024, of this year. And what I realized is the age we live in now, since everything is so handed to us, if the version of me that indulged in all the comforts nowadays, if you put me back in the primal ages, would I have survived? Think about that. Brother, if you were put in a life or death situation, would you live back then? And the truth is, nowadays, it's more competitive than ever. It's more competitive than ever. But things have changed. We now have the internet. We now have social media. We now have fields of work that have never existed before. With AI coming out and all of these things. If you're comfortable just sitting there, plugging into the matrix, not pushing yourself every day to be self-sufficient, you should be fucking scared, bro. Everything is coming after you. We live in a more competitive era than ever before. That's the truth. It seems like we live in such a comfortable world, but the truth is we live in a more competitive era than ever before. Every field is saturated. Every field is saturated. Every skill you're trying to learn online, video editing, copywriting, social media management, everything you're trying to do. College degrees, college attendance, everything is saturated. But the crowd is always at the bottom of the ladder. The crowd is always at the bottom of the ladder. If you're not making the progress that you want, the money that you want, what I realized is, instead of blaming it on the market that I was in like I used to, I just realized that I suck. You just suck, bro. Everybody has this tendency to start something and to get the dopamine hit of saying, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, talking about their goals. And then it's that dopamine fades and that motivation dies. And then they try, they go for a little bit, and then they realize when they face their little first obstacle, oh, I didn't know this was going to be hard. And then they give up. Everyone just gives up. It's so easy. You just have to be consistent, bro. See, the problem is people nowadays, they try to run. They try to sprint, right? And make a bunch of progress. And then after a week, they'll be like, okay, I've earned a little break. Or they'll wake up early and push themselves for a little bit. And then they'll sleep in for a few days. And then they'll try to run again to catch back up. And what you have to realize, bro, is that's how you get stuck in the cycle of taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Stop worrying about running. Stop worrying about sprinting. Success does love speed. But what you have to realize is, as fast as you built it up is as fast as it can go away. As fast as it can vanish. It doesn't matter how much momentum you've built, how many days you crushed it. If that one day comes along the whole empire can crumble. So you can worry about moving fast, but you have to worry about moving correctly. The person, it's that, I know that quote, that cliche quote, slow and steady wins the race. But it's true. It's true, because guess what? The person that's just walking every day, doing exactly what they need to do, that's just moving very steadily, not slowly, but consistently, steadily, in a straight line without any stops, any back sets, any setbacks, nothing. They're just moving in a straight line, doing exactly what they need to do every day to keep moving forward. That person will beat the person that sprints, hits a wall, falls down, and walks back, and then sprints again every single time. They'll beat that person every single time. Brother, you have to realize and identify what it is in your life that is going to allow you to just keep walking forward every single day. Because that momentum is going to keep building like a snowball. And 6 months down the line, you're going to be unrecognizable. You're going to make so much progress because that momentum compounds over time. That progress compounds over time. And that's why I'm making this YouTube video, because right now I'm nowhere close to where I want to be, physically or financially. But I'm making steady progress every single day. And I'm documenting it so that months from now, people can look at this YouTube channel and just see how far I've come. See the progress that I've made it. And they can come back this far to like this video you're watching right now and just see that I literally came from nothing. And I just want to give away all this value to you guys because I didn't understand it. Back in 2023 and prior, I wish I could have told myself these. I could talk to myself and just tell me what I was doing wrong. That it's not about doing a little bit of work and getting that dopamine hit of being productive. Because that's not how the real life works. You have to see how much work you can do without seeing immediate results. How much you can push yourself before anything truly comes to fruition, before the fruits of the labor pay off. I was being such a bitch back then. It's not about how little you can get away with each day and still make progress. It's about how much you can genuinely get done each day. So, brother, I want you to remember that. And I want you to go into the week or the weekend, whenever you're seeing this, and crush it. And every time you encounter that little bit of resistance, when you know you have to go to the gym, when you know you have to sit down and do your work, when you know you have to sit down and do the task, do the hard thing that you know you need to do, but you don't feel like it in the moment because that momentum died. I know how it feels, bro. Whenever you encounter that resistance, I want you to tell yourself, in that moment, ask yourself the question, what do I need to do to keep walking forward right now? And what comes to your mind, take immediate action on it. And tell yourself, I will do what is required. Say it to yourself out loud when you encounter that resistance, when you want to give up so bad. Tell yourself out loud, I will do what is required. Because it's not about doing how much effort you think is going to get you to your goals. It's about doing what is required to make failure impossible. That is how you truly skyrocket into the version of you that you desire, into the version of you that you dreamed about. And how you can grab it from thin air, from the thought, and put it into reality. Get after it, brother.